Lawmakers on Capitol Hill have until the end of the month to pass a funding bill or face a partial government shutdown. The House has already passed a continuing resolution to buy some time, but Senate Democrats have been a roadblock for that path. And joining us now to discuss is Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. Good morning to you, sir. Of course, the big question, will Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Democrats continue, do you think, to filibuster the short-term spending deal?
I think it's more and more likely that we are going to see a shutdown when funding expires next week. Democrats are really digging in on this, and they view this as their only opportunity to push back on the Trump agenda. And by the way, the White House upped the ante significantly last night by saying they're going to fire massive amounts of federal workers if the shutdown actually materializes. So this thing just keeps getting juicier and juicier.
Yeah.
Get out your popcorn, because I think we're going to buckle in here and see a pretty dramatic event.
Meantime, they're on recess right now, and as you mentioned, they're really using this threat of a shutdown as leverage, and they have some pretty serious demands. You say these demands are ridiculous. What are they?
Yeah, I mean, because you have to look, first of all, at what the continuing resolution, the funding bill, does. It's only a 7-week temporary patch to buy Congress more time to craft a deal. In response, the Democrats are asking for about $1.5 trillion in new spending, putting illegal immigrants back into Medicaid, getting rid of the sensible work requirements that were imposed for Medicaid, and also extending some of these pandemic programs that give health care subsidies to people making $500,000 a year. This is ridiculous, and they should be negotiating more seriously if they want to be taken seriously right now.
Yeah, especially considering, what, $37 trillion in debt that we're looking at right now, and we want to spend that much, especially when we're talking about subsidies. Talk about the importance of why we have to end some of that stuff, even past this, even if we were to have this 7-week patch.
Yeah, I would like to see the patch extend well into next year, because most of these subsidies are going to expire at the end of the year. The way this 7-week deal is currently structured is we're going to be facing another potential shutdown right before the Thanksgiving holiday, and that is bad news for taxpayers, because once members of Congress start to smell those jet fumes, want to get home, want to have turkey with their family, they're much more likely to craft a bad deal that could include a massive expansion in government subsidies, these Obamacare enhanced subsidies. That's bad news.
Yeah. The president posted on Truth Social earlier this week, after reviewing the details of the unserious and ridiculous demands being made by the minority radical left Democrats in return for their votes to keep our thriving country open, I have decided that no meeting with their congressional leaders could possibly be productive. I look forward to meeting with them if they get serious about the future of our nation. We must keep the government open and legislate like true patriots rather than hold American citizens hostage. So, as of right now, you believe when they do come back from recess, there will be a partial government shutdown. What kind of impact would that have on the economy, do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, shutdowns aren't good for the economy. You know, you look at federal spending overall, and it's more than a fifth of our economy, a number that I think is way too large, but that's beside the fact. Right now, the federal government does make up a big percentage of the economy, and if you shut down spending, or a good chunk of spending, then there will be negative economic impacts. And of course, what happens when we do shut down the federal government, typically we end up giving these federal employees back pay,
right, and
we end up not saving money in the long run. So hopefully we can avoid a shutdown, but that's going to require Democrats to come back down to earth and negotiate in good faith with Republicans.
And also, for so long, Democrats have been completely against the shutdown. So I also wonder, too, if they're concerned about perhaps the narrative moving forward on this. What's your thoughts?
I think that's right. Yeah, they're doing a complete 180 policy-wise, and there's plenty of videos out there if you want to spend a few minutes on YouTube watching Democrats decry the legislative strategy of Republicans trying to utilize a shutdown in order to extract some concessions by Democrats here. They've called that irresponsible in the past, but that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. Great to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Jan.